Welcome back, viewers, and thank you very much for staying tuned. And just before the break, we were talking about, the impact we can make to the wider community as a minority.
Yes,
And you've mentioned about you do take on free cases
yes,
for people
yes.
who can't afford, and you do your bit for the community.
Yeah.
Please, can you carry on from
Yeah,
there?
so you see, end of the day, remember that an ocean is made of drop of water. So the ocean, as wide as it may look, it is just drops and drops and drops and millions of drops of water. So if you can do your drop of water, if you put your bit of effort into the community and think of it in a wider scale, okay, if let's say, for example, there is 10,000 professional Bangladeshis in United Kingdom, if each of them does one free service, overall the Bangladeshi community's reputation, how it will grow,
Of
it will grow
course.
massively. And I think that is end of the day an obligation upon us, because end of the day, you think of it, you can't build a castle in a dump. You look around what's around you. If things around you are not nice, if people around you are not happy, that will give impact negativity on yourself. So recently, for example, I was dealing with a case where this elderly couple, they came from India and their daughter died in front of them during childbirth process. And essentially, right at the end when the heart stopped, a doctor came in, did a surgery and took the child out. Now, these parents, they came into UK as visitors. They don't have further right to remain in UK. But now they have lost their British citizen daughter and their grandchild is in their lap. Now, they cannot afford solicitors in UK. They never came with that kind of money. The person they were relying on has just suddenly passed away. I cannot turn that person away from my office simply because they can't afford it. And see, they are not from the Bangladeshi community. They're not from my ethnic origin or my religious origin. It's a wider community. But I will take on that case and fight it as passionately as any other case that I deal with, because I might not get money from here, but I will get a sense of achievement when I will be able to give this child a future with grandparents, when I will give this grandparents a future with their grandchild. This sense of achievement will come, which is not from the money, but at the same time, I will be making an impact on the community. They will go and tell to 10 friends of their own. And that's how, even though we are such a small community, and alhamdulillah, I think the Bangladeshi community in UK are doing pretty well.
MashaAllah, yes,
coming to business, I've got friends who are top-notch accountants, architects, and alhamdulillah, in each of our field, if we do that extra bit, not for the money, but for the social good, we can create an impact. As a lawyer, especially if you're in the legal profession, you can single-handedly change a law, and that can affect the entire country as a whole, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
I've seen this quite regularly. Every single very successful entrepreneurs, all the way to Starbucks owners, to Microsoft owner, Bill Gates, you name it. Everybody have a way of giving back, and this is a very good way of giving back in your field.
I think, yeah, in our field, this opportunity is massive, because end of the day, do remember that happy people don't come to solicitors and lawyers. People who are in trouble come to lawyers and solicitors. And we have the capacity to help someone come out of their trouble. And when you do that, that person will remember you, will pray for you. You don't have to take money as an incentive all the time, because the capacity you have to impact their life by helping them, that can be an incentive altogether.
That's true. As they say, karma has its way to come back.
Yes,
So,
yes, indeed. It does. I believe that in different aspects of life, I'm very blessed. And some people may turn around and say, oh, you're a very lucky guy. But I can turn around and say, well, is it luck, or is it the prayers of those I helped? And see, God works in many different ways.
Yeah.
And I think we always have an obligation to help other people. We always have an obligation to work for the better good of the wider community. And as small as the Bangladeshi community may be in UK, I think we have the potential to do very good to this country.
Interesting. You've mentioned God just a few seconds ago. My question to you is, spiritually, do you find that you have an advantage because of your religious belief?
Oh yes, of course, of course.
Is this something that you can put together for me here? Because I think it's a very important part.
Obviously, there's a lot of misunderstanding about Islam and Muslims and stuff like that in this world, and I think it is very important that we always talk about it, that essentially I believe one of the key elements to my success is Islam. Why is that? It's because you see, a fundamental principle of Islam is that Allah is always watching. Your
Of
two
course.
angels are writing your good and bad deeds down. Now, a person like me never feels scared of the boss. I'm not. If I have nothing, if Allah is always watching me and I am doing things immaculately so that I can always justify to him, I wouldn't have any difficulty justifying to my boss.
Okay.
See, for example, corruption, dishonesty. If you are a God-fearing person, you will never have these as issues in your life because you are consistently thinking that Allah is watching. And see how we modify and rectify our behavior based on a CCTV camera. If your boss installs a camera in your room, you behave in one way. If the camera is not there, you think you can do all the wrong things in the
That's
world.
true.
But you have to always remember that Allah's camera never switches off. And ultimately, you are answerable to Him. So if you can, your work can be your ibadah. You know, you take dishonest money, you feed your children halal food. Is that really halal if your rizq is not halal? So if you want your children to have halal food, first thing you must do is make sure that your income is halal. How can your income be halal? When you act with honesty, you act with integrity.
Integrity, yeah.
And honesty, integrity is such a vital part. If you see Prophet Muhammad, his characteristics, he was described as the trustworthy.
Yeah.
As a business person, you try to follow Prophet Muhammad, be the trustworthy person in the business circle, and you will see business will run after you, because end of the day, it is such a difficult world out there. If you can create a reputation of trustworthy, business will come after you. Cases, for example, in my profession, there's a saying, a lot of people who come to me, even though they have a lawyer, because they will come to me for that honest opinion. I will look at the documents and say that, look, this is a very helpless situation. Don't waste your money in instructing me. I can't help you. And that bit of honesty will spread like fire when it comes to business. That person will go and say that this guy, he could have made £1,000 out of me, but he served my interest by telling me that don't walk down this road, you can't win this case. And that honesty, I might have lost £1,000 there, but it will attract thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds from other side. And I believe that Islam does give us a massive advantage. It teaches us how to conduct ourselves in a way that will attract customers, that will attract people from all walks of life. They will want to come and trade with you because you are a person of honesty, you are a person of integrity. And I think that's essentially
very true, actually. So what what Mr. Hussein is saying is, become an honest person, and in business life you should have honesty and integrity. After that, what you want to do is let money follow you. You shouldn't follow money, so let that happen. That's what you're effectively saying.
Yes, of course.
And it's true. Money will come.
Money
as long
that is the capitalistic way of things, isn't it? That if you are good at something, people are bound to value.
That's it.
If I am making money for my firm, they will value me, isn't it? Now, if there is one person who is making money for the firm, honestly, one person doing it dishonestly, obviously the firm will prefer the honest person. So, if you have the honesty and integrity in you, that will always come to your advantage, and that will always gain you more confidence among your clients, among your peers. And yeah, I think that it's very important that you carry yourself and create that image that you are an honest person that they can rely and believe
trust
on.
you. Yeah. Okay, we don't have much time, really. I mean, you deal with a lot of different people from different walks of life.
Yes.
Different cultures, different traditions, different profession.
Yes.
There are clients who are probably a lot more intelligent than you.
Yeah.
So for example, a professor or somebody. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, I think in order to be successful in making money, doing work, you must have the capacity to engage with a diverse community. So you must understand that business requires you to mingle, interact with people from different walks of life. I have clients who are NHS doctors and very well educated, I have clients who are coming from, they have very good set of skills, but not a very educated background. So yes, I essentially when I was very small, very young age, my grandparents, they were from Hosini Dalan Bakshi Bazar, which is like the old town of Dhaka.
Okay.
So I think that has given me exposure in mixing with people from very different wide class of people. And then obviously I've got my family who are very well educated and mixing with them. So I don't know, I think it's termed as gift of the gap, that I can sit and have a conversation with a rickshaw puller, I can sit and have a conversation with a university professor, and when you go into business, that is very important, because you cannot have a very restrictive client base. Your objective should be to serve the world at large. If you're thinking about expanding, you must have the people skill to interact with people from all walks of life.
It's really important to have that people skill and that communication skill,
Yes.
that with whatever level of people you're dealing with, you can deal with them, you can communicate
Indeed, and
them
see,
effectively.
End of the day, in lawyers, you might be thinking that, okay, lawyers are only engulfed into books and stuff, but remember that we are essentially selling a service. We don't sell any product, we don't sell a TV or a chair, we sell our service. So when a person walks into that door, through that door, you have to convince that person that you are the right lawyer for them. Because there's thousands of lawyers out there.
Exactly.
How do they know? So that's where the people skill really comes in. If you cannot relate to people, if you cannot communicate with people, you might be the best lawyer in the world. People just wouldn't know about it, isn't it?
That's very true. Now, I've got loads of questions to ask you, to be honest, and I'm having to skip a few. The reason being is we've only got about 3 or 4 minutes left to finishing the show, but it's so interesting speaking to you. But I want to ask you one question. How important is it to keep a positive mindset? I mean, I actually talk a lot about mindset, and I want to hear your perspective.
It is, I think it's one of the most important things, because as I had said earlier, that life is a war. You know, you must give a positive mindset. Is it, see, and I'm sure you have heard this, and everybody, your viewers have heard this, that you can look at a glass of water, you can describe it as half empty, but a positive minded person will not look at that half emptiness. He will look at that, the fact that it's half full. He will look at, what can I make out of this little bit of water that exists. He will forget about the difficulties he may have for that half glass being empty. So having a positive mindset is very important. You are not going to win every case as a lawyer. You are going to lose cases. You are going to have difficult judges who will at times throw their weight around in court, show that they are the boss over there. You cannot be demotivated. You must look at the positive things. You can go into a case, you can lose a case, but you can still come back as a person who has gained more experience. And even health-wise, you can, a little illness in yourself can lead you to a better lifestyle, isn't it? So if you are a positive-minded person, you will see goodness everywhere. And I think in order to prosper, it's very important that you keep a positive mindset. Don't take a failure as a blow in the face that you don't come back to. You take a failure as an experience, and you see that how that failure ensures that you don't fail again. So if that can be education for you. So I think, a positive
Thank you very much anyway. I
important.
mean, to be honest, you know, I'd love to ask you more questions, to be honest, but you have been very inspirational today. And, you know, I enjoyed talking to you. Viewers, I hope you found this inspirational, motivating. I once again thank Mr. Imran Hussain for coming into the show.
Thank you very much, and thank you to NTV for having me. It's been an absolute
honor. Thank you,
honor.
and I will look forward to see you again in the future. Viewers, we have come to the end of the show. We've literally got a few seconds, but I just want to tell you, if you have any ideas, anything that we can involve in this show, then please do email us on businesstoday@europeNTV.com. That's businesstoday@europeNTV.com. You can watch us live on YouTube, online at www.europeNTV.com. And also remember, all the past programs that we've played, or today's program, you can watch them on YouTube as well. Don't forget, I just want to thank everybody from NTV, my guests and the directors and the people who's working really hard behind the scenes. You know, thank them for what they've done to make these wonderful shows for us. I thank the coordinator, Farsa Ahmed. show do. And remember, you know, we can't always fulfill all the demands. We get a lot of emails for a lot of guests, but just keep them coming in, and we will try our very best to fulfill and bring those guests on board. And remember, that's it for today. Tomorrow's business is business today.